onion rings. Best of the state, as far as I'm concerned.
The final scene in Holston's, it doesn't represent paranoia so much as it represents onion rings, indulgence at the expense of survival.
Retaliation, counterattacks, we're the fucking stagmite.
Tony Soprano was not a strategist.
Well, they're fixing a fucking Shah of Iran's car.
He was a jealous man who once clasped Phil Leotardo's hand in friendship, only to mock him as the Shah behind his back.
20 years inside, not a fucking peep.
This is the same Phil who did 20 years inside without complaint. Yet Tony couldn't go a month without whining to Melfi about his mother. If paranoia was supposed to define him, why was he sitting in a mall food court, alone, as if daring someone to pull the trigger? This is a world where hits happen in broad daylight. And Tony, with most of his crew buried or comatose, still thought it wise to plant himself in a front-row diner seat facing the street.
What about way to Welsh Farms? Get a triple blueberry sundae.
Strategy? No. Stupidity, jealousy, and appetite. And yes, the onion rings were apparently the best in New Jersey. That alone was enough reason for Tony to risk his life and his family's.
Bloomin' onion. Cool.
For all the talk about existential dread and the regularness of life, the truer explanation is that Tony valued fried food over caution. He could rationalize a war, betray his friends, and ruin his family's peace.
I brought him Jersey's best sandwich, fucking best in the world.
But never, under any circumstances, resist a platter of greasy perfection.
So fed up with people assuming I'm a thug because my name ends in a vowel.
The tragicomedy is that every character in The Sopranos is cut from the same cloth. Selfish, dim-witted, and self-destructive.
How you doing? Give him 5 boxes of ziti.
Strip away the dramatics and they are all dumb thugs arguing over ziti, jackets, and orange peel beef.
No offense, John, but I got an IQ of 136.
1 minute, Tony dreams of being a Seton Hall graduate with an IQ of 136. The next, he is stomping around like a cue ball with delusions of grandeur.
I fucking hope so, because I tell you right now, I don't want the fucking job.
He was never fit to be a Don. At best, he might have been a sandwich artist, or, if disciplined, a middling technician in precision optics. But instead, he insisted on being a king, with onion rings as his crown. This brings us to the finances of gangsterdom. The show largely ignored them, but they matter. Tony lived like a man earning $2 million a year, yet with barely $5 million in net worth to show for it.
Some of my money comes from illegal gambling.
He required at least $15,000 a month just to feel alive, on gambling, women, lawyers, and whatever else padded his fragile ego.
It's all right. Fucking maniac!
Hide indefinitely, like Whitey Bulger? Impossible. Tony lacked the temperament and the savings.
One just got married, needs my help.
He was addicted to action and addicted to luxury.
She will be under what is called house arrest. You understand this concept?
Junior Soprano demonstrated the alternative. Frugal, cautious, and housebound. He outlasted many.
FBI and local police
Talk about fuck.
But even he eventually ran out of resources once his crew evaporated. That is the reality of mob economics. You can make millions, but the lifestyle burns it faster than any accountant can launder it. And Tony had no accountant, no taxes, no TurboTax, no safety net.
Go down by the cellar door, see if Murph left the envelope under the flagstone.
Only cash piles, retainers, and an ever-hungry appetite for vice. The defense that Tony wanted to be a regular guy is laughable.
You don't got an envelope?
Ordinary people don't order envelopes of cash from dentists or discuss HUD scams with assemblymen. He could never reconcile the fantasy of suburban family life with the reality of mob rule.
Emptying the pool, huh?
He wanted the freedom to enjoy poolside barbecues and the respect of a feared Don, but the two identities were incompatible.
Gotta make this work for us, out in the open, legit. But a nice IPO, keep it spinning, live off the juice.
His craving for normality made him reckless. In his mind, if he could not eat in peace with his family, then what was the point of power at all? His behavior during the New York War proves the point.
Good to see you, my friend.
You too, John.
Tony fancied himself a boss equal to Carmine and Phil, yet Jersey was always treated as a pygmy crew. New York viewed him less as a sovereign Don and more as a problematic subcontractor. Shared rackets, Casinos, construction, assemblymen kept the peace.
He doesn't have the balls to step up himself.
But when Phil grew unhinged, the other families simply wanted stability. Tony killed Phil and assumed this meant safety. He mistook temporary convenience for permanent immunity. Would Butchie risk betraying that truce? Unlikely. The rules of Cosa Nostra are clear. Kill a boss after a sit-down agreement, and you forfeit your own life.
Colt went over big. She loved it.
I'm Philly.
No, Tony's downfall came from within. Patsy never forgave him for killing his brother. Polly knew Tony once considered drowning him in Florida. Sil was in a coma. Chris and Bobby were dead.
Maybe Paulie's the one telling our friend in New York all our business.
There were no loyalists left. In such a climate, Tony's belief in loyalty was delusional.
It's Patrick Parisi, okay?
He thought Meadows' relationship with Patrick guaranteed safety. Instead, it made him vulnerable.
Who stole Tony? Who, me?
My own wife, 40 grand, from the bird feed.
Some prefer the Carmela theory, that she arranged the hit herself, ensuring the government couldn't strip her assets the way they did Johnny Sack's wife.
Jenny Sack had to move in with her fucking daughter!
It's tidy, though unlikely. More plausible is the simple fact Tony Soprano was careless.
He was at the safe house. We brought him over.
He refused to live in exile like a proper fugitive. He was too vain to tolerate a driver, too insecure to delegate, too restless to sit at home, and too hungry to deny himself dinner.
Yeah. Don doesn't wear shorts.
He wore shorts, for God's sake. He wasn't a Don, he was a glutton with a crown. Tony Soprano's nature was always street level. He robbed trucks for fun, beat his driver to reassert manhood, and conducted business in strip clubs, pork stores, and mall food courts. He could never behave like a true Don because he was never one to begin with. He was an overgrown street thug, elevated beyond his competence. His downfall was not Shakespearean. It was predictable. Why was he in public? Because he could not imagine life any other way. Because the war felt over in his head. Because he believed his charisma outweighed his enemy's bullets. Because he thought loyalty still existed. Because onion rings taste better in public. The Sopranos ends not with a meditation on paranoia, but with a final statement of character. Tony Soprano was too stupid, too jealous, and too greedy to save himself.
Don't ruin his life. Vesuvio is where pussy feels safe.
He could never have lived like a ghost in hiding. His empire was crumbling, his allies vanishing, and his fortune burning at both ends. All that remained was appetite. And so he died as he lived, in public, without protection, a glorified crew boss eating the best onion rings in the state. Tony couldn't save himself, but you can save this channel. Hit subscribe.